Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, put your feet up. It's time for the Other Three Amigos podcast with Declan McCormack, Wayne Mullins and Dan.
Three lads, one podcast.
On this week's episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast, ain't nobody Barry Coffey. Yes, we discussed that Panenka. Wayne Mullins is the happiest he has ever been. We discussed the international night at the Cross, if you should go for youth or experience for the rest of the season. We have the Finger Lickers review, the Harps Preview, and we have some of the best 2 minutes of TOTAP of all time. All of this and more on this week's episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast. Welcome to the Other Three Amigos podcast, season 4, episode 61, episode 237 in total, your award-winning podcast. A reminder, we are on YouTube, youtube.com/the Other Three Amigos podcast. We need you to like and subscribe over there. Patreons can stream our pods on Spotify app. Be sure to follow us on Patreon or subscribe to us on Patreon for €5 per month, or if you want to have the pod but still get the same level of content, you can throw us a tenner. And be sure to leave a review on podcast apps as long as it's positive. The proud sponsor of Jack Doherty's Boots. And we're now at, well, what's the figure we're at for Marymount now in total, really? Is it 520?
Something
more.
It's a bundle.
Because we donated at the start as well. We donated his fee.
So they got to €700, is it?
And there's other stuff to be added in. Athlone donated their fee for the stream that time, the money we were paying them, so we have to pay that in as well. So there'll be, well, we can't say no because I'll give away how much Athlone were charging us for the stream, but there'll be a bundle of money.
Fair play to everyone involved. We'll get into the Barry Coffey Panenka thing a little later on.
No, we won't.
What do you want to do now? Just do it now.
I'm just saying, do you know what? I'm happy. Do you know everything every part of my being that was annoyed by the club, that was upset, that was angry, that was impatient, it's all gone.
It's passed on to them.
We've won, Dan.
Thanks to Barry Coffey. He won't be employed by Cork City Football Club next year, if there's any doubt beforehand.
If this is the last podcast that we ever do, it doesn't matter, because we've won. It's not about winning or losing, but it is about winning. And we've won. Carry on, please.
Declan McCormack, do you feel like we've won?
I was just going to ask, what is it we have won exactly? I'm not quite sure. All I know is it's cost us a bundle of money.
Life, Declan. Life.
We've won at life.
Those sleepless nights we had, those nights we met up at 3 o'clock in the morning in the car, meeting up, checking stuff and having ideas. We've won. It's simple as.
You were going meeting Dickie at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Dan, you were there too. No, stop, would you?
Look,
all those ideas we have, we don't need to do them anymore. We've won. It's simple as.
Look, it was. Like, the funny thing about it was, as he lined up to take, because I messaged, I was like, why is Coffey taking the penalty? Because obviously Jack Doherty normally takes the penalties. And then it dawned on me, he's on a hat-trick. The Panenka thing never entered my head until he actually did it, And it was only then I was like, Christ, he just Panenka'd it. Whatever, Marymount. But you see Kevin Barry Dorney, in fairness to him, has turned into a brilliant photographer. And to see the 2 shots that Kevin got at Barry running away, where he's almost winking at the camera, he has the finger and it's almost a wag and a wink as if to say, there you go, and it's just, they're 2 brilliant photographs, and Barry enjoyed it. I think he definitely enjoyed it. And look, fair play to him, because we talk about jeopardy, he's risking a hat-trick, he's probably not risking a bollocking from Tim, because they're 3-0 up at that stage anyway. But you want to get a hat-trick, and it takes a bit of balls to risk your hat-trick to do that, and fair play to him. I mean, probably the first person to ever be enshrined in the TOTAP Hall of Fame, but there he is, our first entrant, Barry Coffey.
Should we induct him into the Hall of Fame, Declan? Should
we open a Hall of Fame? Will we open a Hall of Fame now?
Will we do it? Do you know why? Because Cork City haven't done it for 5 years now. 2019 was the last Hall of Famer. Yeah, we did it for years and then we just suddenly stopped. So look, I'm not saying it's a black mark on Cork City ruining the history of Cork City Football Club, but I'm just saying let's start let's reintroduce the Hall of Fame and let's introduce Barry Coffey as the TOTAP very first Hall of Famer.
Well done, Barry.
Who would you put in the Hall of Fame since 2019?
Liam Boston.
Damien Shreenan.
Absolutely Damien Shreenan.
Keating still hasn't got his MVP trophy from last year.
It's in hand. It's in hand. It's in hand. Damien has it under control. There's no panic.
But on a serious note, though, right? All this winning and losing, right? Even though we did win, charity has won here, and that's all that matters. You know, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
And look, you know what? If we
mainly
could
charity, but a bit of
if
us.
we could take a 1% like happiness from this, I'll take it. But in the end, charity, maybe a 2. Yeah, if charity wins, that's all that matters. Not about us winning or Corksey losing. Not about us winning. It's about charity winning. Yeah.
Big thanks to Barry Coffey and Jack Doherty. Yeah.
Should we call him like Dr. Barry Coffey or something like that? Or we should have a title. Not Sir. That's a bit too kind of. I think Dr. Barry Coffey would be nice to know. Do you think?
Who else would be in the TOTAP Hall of Fame? Obviously, you'd have your Liam Boston.
Jays Kabia, maybe?
Oh.
The Secret Garden would surely be in there. As a venue, the Secret Garden would surely be in there, like, you know. I'm going to be honest here, and you know, guys, I've no way of big head, but like, I think all the shit I've taken over the last 4 years, I probably deserve to be in there as well, like, you know. That whole abusing kids, that abusing kids stuff by still hangs. Like, I mean, it's like, it's you know, like, it's left a mental scar. Like, that's fucking will never be erased.
Speaking of kids, it's time to go to Academy Watch.
I wish you told me that earlier, Dan.
From what we can see, only one academy team was out in action this week. Under 15s, they beat Treaty 3-1. Our walking football squad was also out during the week at a walking football festival. They had 2 wins, 4 draws, and 2 defeats. So well done to everybody there. There's no time to head to Academy Watch.
I guess if they had 4 draws, they were probably playing against the low block a lot, were they?
Academy Watch with Ivan Draco on the Other Three Amigos podcast.
The only 2 things I've written in Academy Watch is the club weren't very commie lately, so it's Barry Coffey and the International Night at the Cross, and they're the only 2 things I have for Academy Watch. So we've already done the Barry Coffey thing, really, have we?
We can go.
We just wank ourselves off over again, to be honest. Yeah,
charity's won. We have a little bit. That's really the end of the story, like, you know.
I should ask Decky as well. Something I probably should go into tangent about is the women's team in action in the FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah, away to Shells on Saturday afternoon at 2:00 in Talca Park. Look, Dan, it's a massive ask. But if you want to find all about it, we cover it this week's Last Damas. So released last night.
Decky, or is it still like
late last night?
In the year.
Released late last night.
Why is Last Damas getting released so late at the moment?
Time difference. He's living in Greece.
Yeah, Marshall Demetrius isn't up to date with the time difference and the rest of it yet, you know. No, to be fair, he's AIing the shit out of it as well, like, so fair play to him. Deserves some credit, but so look, it's a big ask, Dan, but it's a cup semi-final, anything can happen, and there's a big prize on offer.
Just FA Cup final, really.
Can we talk about the TOTAP pajamas?
You can if you want.
What's that about? Like, how did they come about, or who has them?
Here, look, I'll play it for you.
Up there was nice to score a goal there.
Oh, sorry, pressed the wrong button. That was the wrong piece. I took it off.
It's all right.
Did I? No, yeah, I took it off. I had to replace it during the... Yeah, it's Roisin Malloy from Athlone, who I made a joke maybe 3 months ago when Athlone beat Cork City in Turner's Cross, and we spoke to Laurie Ryan. and Laurie was on about Roisin being the biggest or Last Damas fan in the country. So then on the following week's pod, I said, I've heard that Roisin sleeps in Last Damas pajamas. And lo and behold, the girls of that loan went away and actually got Last Damas pajamas made for her. And she does sleep in them. And she told us about it on Saturday night after she scored an absolute worldly against Treaty above in Limerick. I got to speak to her afterwards and she confirmed that, yes, she is currently sleeping in Last Damas pajamas. And we have seen them. They're real, like they are.
Ooh.
We've seen pictures.
What kind of photograph is that, Declan?
Eileen saw the photograph, so,
Okay. Surely now she needs to be in the TOTAP Hall of Fame as well.
Oh, well, Last Damas, because TOTAP, like this pod and Last Damas pods are two different pods, like, so, yes, if there was a Last Damas Hall of Fame.
That is correct. That is correct.
Roisin would be in there. She would be in there.
Are you still in the footpath, are you?
Yes, and shall be forevermore. Not talking about it. Did a piece on it on this week's Last Damas and said we would never again talk about it. So sticking to that. No.
So we would say that about
everything for
a
year.
I know.
We're still talking about golfing every week, like.
Yeah, but look, let's not do it this week. This week's positivity, Barry Coffey, Hall of Fame entries, things winning, charities winning, Scotty celebrating us winning a little bit. So look, let's stick to the positivity.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit.
Can't get any more positive than an international night at Turner's Cross. Wayne Mullins, how buzzed are you for this one?
This is a really good idea, and I think it's very well done. Even the graphic is sensational, and putting in different languages. Like the Palestine flag as well it's a nice move from the club too. So I think fair play. I remember, I'd say it's over 10 years now. We tried to do it with a lot of posters and stuff and put it in Polish and get in Polish, because this is when the Polish community was larger in Cork, and we tried to get people to go and it didn't really work. But I think something like this, it's a broader way of doing it. I think it's a fantastic venture, and fair play to the club. I think it's brilliant, 100%. And I hope loads show up, because I think like we should embrace more fans coming to this club, because obviously the Cork people don't want bloody support us as much as they should. So maybe it might get an international feel to it. Bring it on.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. The jerseys is class as well, so they might go buy some of them. They're insane. Lads, this is basically Coffee Watch. Like, we're moving straight into the...
Just before you do, hang on. Just to mention, Thursday is the kind of famous hospice coffee mornings or coffee days, where there's just, people organise coffee days for different hospices. Obviously in Cork it would be Marymount, which would be front and centre. Obviously Barry Coffey days, Marymount, there's all kind of big tie-ups there. So just would encourage people to donate to Marymount on Thursday. If you can't go to a coffee morning that's organised there, you just maybe throw them a couple of quid online or something, as we will be doing as a result of the greatest coffee of all time scoring the greatest penalty of all time. So, just thought that tied in nicely there. Maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But okay, I tried it.
No, it does. It's a nice thing. Make a Barry Coffey Day.
Yeah, Barry Coffey Day on Thursday.
Buy a coffee from Marymount. There we go, yeah.
Cork City 4, the Finger Lickers 1. Barry Coffey, of course, with the hat-trick, and Jack Doherty finding the net again. Decky, what are we doing now for the rest of the season? Are you watching what's going on? Like, I mean, coming into the game, I probably didn't expect a whole lot. I probably expected a draw with all the young fellas out, or didn't expect a great performance, but we go and beat KFC 4-1.
Look, it was a very, very enjoyable watch, to be fair, probably maybe the best watch of the season, maybe. So like I said last week, that I didn't think it was fair if you were throwing a lash of young fellas in together, but it worked and they were quite good, and there were some very good performances. And the interesting thing for me now is what happens with Keats and Shawnee for the rest of the season. To me, I would be kind of thinking I want to see them play together and try and build that understanding, etc., etc. I think other people would say leave them sit and, give Harvey Skeeters, give Cian Murphy, give whoever it might be the minutes. But I don't, I just have this thing in my head that if we turn around 4 games into the start of next season and we haven't scored, maybe as many as we should have, and then somebody on the coaching staff says, well, look, the lads are still getting used to each other, I'm just going to say, why the hell didn't they play the last 6 games of last season together? I think I want to see Shawnee and Keats play not every game and not every minute, but certainly play enough to build that understanding. The rest of it, look, it's a time cost. Like, do you give Dowling the rest of the games instead of Brad Wade? I'd like to see Noah. I'm going to apologise for this now for the pronunciation. Noah Swansky, is it? Who came on at right back?
Swansky, I think. So is the W mean V?
Okay. He played in the pre-season game in Fermoy against Galway at the start of the season. And I thought he was the best player, not in Cork City. I thought he was the best player on the pitch in the first half. But he hasn't seen any minutes, which has kind of surprised me. But I do hope that he is a guy that might be a player for us in the coming year or two. Zach Dunn is another one I might like to see get a few minutes, but I was talking to somebody who was away during the week. They were in Spain and they did a tour of a Spanish ground, and somebody approached them because they were wearing Cork City gear and started going on about Zach Dunn. And the person was like, yeah, Zach Dunn, etc., etc. And see me, this club in Spain know all about Zach Dunn. They're trying to get him over there on trial. So that's another one to maybe keep an eye out on.
Which
maybe
club
in
was
the
it?
off season. Give me 2 seconds. I just can't remember. I want to say Bilbao, but I don't think it's Bilbao. Just give me 2 seconds there. Talk amongst yourselves there for a minute.
What do you think of the win? What did you think of the game, Wayne?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was the best game of the season, which kind of, it's good because it'll give the kick in the hole of the players who start. The kid's cutting in.
I'm not cutting in.
Go on, he was
Decky threw up the love and Wayne just like, go on, Decky.
It's Real Betis, not Bilbao.
Oh, nice.
Real Betis.
Yeah, good team. The frying pan of Spain.
Oh, they have some class jersey as well. The green and white.
I'm a regular bidding on jerseys on matchwornjerseys.com. Yeah, and like jerseys go for like £200 or £300. They're match worn, but it's to getting the jersey here and the shipping and the insurance, and it goes to about fucking £500. So every time I bid for it, I'm thankful I lose. I bid for a Jake O'Brien one last year, and I was like, oh god. Anyway,
what's your favorite jersey you own outside of Cork City?
France 84.
I wouldn't know it now. Hold on, I'll try to Google it.
And I have I had Schmeichel's one from 92 growing up. I still have that, like the Danish one.
Oh, that France 84 one is nice. Oh yeah, that is class.
Yeah. I would say Ireland Euro 88 as well.
Back to the finger lickers. Delighted with the Cork City performance.
Yeah, like it was my most enjoyable game of the season. It was our best performance, I thought. And it's good because it pushes the players that are playing week in, week out. Now, maybe it was because we won the league. I remember me saying last week that, look, the shackles are off now. We can start playing like we want to play. He doesn't have to win the league. So maybe next week we can have the first team back and we can be back playing fantastic football. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. And again, the Barry Coffey one. Lads, you saw me in the WhatsApp group. I was happy for...
You were
2 days
as delighted as I've ever seen you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I still am. Like I'm looking back and I'm sitting back, I'm smiling, kind of going, do you know what? It's just such a good feel because not only like did he score a hat trick, a Panenka, charity got money. I know I keep saying it and I'm going on and on. It's probably boring, but I have plenty of people telling me how negative we are. We could be over positive now. I think it's fantastic, and even the club. I thought the club might not acknowledge the Panenka, but they did. So do you know what? They did, yeah. I was mentioning they scored a Panenka and I was kind of waiting for that. But I'm still buzzing after the game. I really am. And hopefully now, like this is what we need. We need everyone pulling the same direction and none of this fake ass shit happening, and just say it how it is. But be positive if there's positivity happening, and that's the way it's happening. Next season, I hope we won't be shitting on Pats, Shells, Rovers, Bows, the whole lot. And we just go in one direction. Great band.
Decky.
Just speaking of shitting on Pat's bows, etc., etc. Somebody else who was telling me that they were at a wedding with Shawnee Maguire last week. I won't say what day and I won't say where because that's not fair on Shawnee. But what was said was that he didn't have a drink all day, which is his own business. And B, and of course I've just said it on a podcast now, which I probably shouldn't have done. But B, all he spoke about was wanting to get Cork City back to Europe next year. And that was all he was here to do, get us back to Europe and win another league title here. So when they're the words coming out of Shawnee, away from the club, away from, the spotlight where he's just at his own private time and he's given that rhetoric, at a private function, it's kind of inspiring in a way, you really sit back and hope like that, okay, this is what the star man is looking for, this is what he wants, this is his desire. You then hope that passes through the dressing room, that he sets the standards, that Keith sets the standards, and that the two of them just drive that standard home, not just for the rest of this season, but next season and the following seasons, So I was obviously, before we signed the two lads, I was kind of looking and saying like we're in big trouble next year. I still think we need numerous players to be brought in, but it's easier to be more, it's easier to believe that we can do something very positive next year than it was maybe 6 weeks ago or so.
Can you imagine a TOTAP tour in Europe, like going to Finland or Iceland or Switzerland or Greece, Cyprus? Like it's just the thought of going to Europe again. Like we took it for granted in like the 90s and 2000s. Absolutely took it for granted. I do anything to be in Europe again, like next season, the year after. It'd be unbelievable.
And I think it's been so long that what you see would happen is because the younger fans have never seen Europe, there's a big lot of them are going to go. But all us who are in our mid to late 40s, who haven't seen it in 10 years or whatever it is, are all going to go, I'm going on this again because it might be the last chance I get, depending on how life works out and how the club works out. Yeah. So I think you'd have a massive, massive crowd go on a European trip. I genuinely do. No, look, we're getting miles and miles ahead of ourselves. But
we're not though.
It's going to happen eventually. It's going to happen eventually.
It is.
It would be incredible. It would be incredible. Could you imagine being in, as you said, in Helsinki or somewhere, Wayne? Pub 2:30 in the morning, shoulder to shoulder with Dermot Usher singing "Come Out You Black and Tans" or something,
I'd love
nobody giving a shit in the world,
Do you know, when we qualify for Europe, I want to be the first person to buy me a pint when we're abroad, all right? The first toe tapper. I'll tell you now, if we do.
Wayne, give us your top 3 destinations if we were drawn in say European run or European group or something like that. Give us your dream 3 destinations you'd love.
You want Cyprus?
First to go.
Ayia Napa. Do it again. Take 2 after 20 years. I think somewhere like Spain would be nice. I know we'd have to qualify a lot further to get there. Or Eastern Europe, like Latvia, Lithuania, again, that'd be just cheap drink, have the crack. That's where I want to go. None of this Scotland, Wales, England thing, but no, we want to go into mainland Europe,
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think somewhere that's easy to get to, Dan, is a big thing.
Scotland, England, Wales.
Yeah, 2 or 3 different flights. Even Linfield. Yeah, Jesus Christ, Linfield. Even somewhere like Malta or somewhere like that, where it's going to be warm. It's in the Mediterranean. It's going to be a great 4 days or whatever it is. I think Malta, Gibraltar, I wouldn't really fancy after the Shell stuff this year, but I think somewhere like that, even, so you won't get the Italian, French or Spanish teams that early, Scotty said a trip into Eastern Europe, so long as it's not Eastern Europe, if you know what I mean, but yeah, the more I think about it, the more Malta is just almost perfect, almost perfect.
The problem with Malta, Decky, is, right, you'd have to bring the wives. You'd have to.
You
There's no way you
would
get
in
to go
your
to malls without bringing the missus. Like,
Chalk it down, I would.
whereas if you go to Lithuania or Latvia, she ain't going. Like,
Well, here's the thing. If she wants to come, she's more than welcome, but she knows she's going to football for 4 days, so she won't want to come. So, it's grand, like. Can you imagine going home and telling her, listen, going to Malta for 4 days, I'd love for you to come now. But you'll have to spend all your time with Wayne and Dan and 300 more Cork City fans.
and Dan's missus.
Yeah, and she's just going to go, do you know what? Go on away yourself. Thanks very much for offering. And I know I love you anyway, but go on, head away with yourself with the lads. Sure, go on, Grant. Actually, you're in the pig's back then. Like, you can't lose then.
Dan, how's missus?
She's grand.
How long are you see, I'm going to get into this, right? Because it's a Love Island thing, right? Because before, when myself and Decky were young nippers with plenty of hair and stuff, you go out and you'd score and you blah, 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 and you end up going out with them. But now apparently you score, you're what's the next step then? There's like 4 steps.
They'd call it exclusive, I'd say.
Oh, exclusive, which I don't know what the fuck that means. And then there's
that means it's only you and herself riding.
So, but you're going out, so?
But then it's not. Then there's boyfriend girlfriend after. Like,
I don't understand this exclusive thing. Like,
yeah, it'd just be like, I don't know. So you'd know they're not out shagging someone else in a nightclub type of job, but you wouldn't be officially boyfriend girlfriend yet. And then that'd be the next stage on then after.
Jeez, I don't know. What do you think, Decky?
I don't know. It sounds to me like it's some kind of job interview, like where you have to get through 4 steps before you actually get the job. Like,
yeah.
It is. Like, it basically is.
So what step are you on now, Dan?
We're going out. We're officially.
Oh,
boyfriend girlfriend. So you've got to step 3, is it? Or is that step 4? No, what's step 4 then?
Step 4 is like marriage. Is it? I don't know.
No, I'm sure there's 4 steps. What's before exclusive?
I don't know.
When Love Island comes around again, we'll do an episode on this.
I don't know.
So you're going out with a Mayo girl?
Yeah.
What you do?
Teacher.
Oh.
Hey!
Congratulations,
Nurse or teacher, Dan. Nurse or teacher.
Had to be done.
Every old doll from Mayo is either a nurse or a teacher. There's nobody up there ever did anything else.
Here's my last question. Is she there?
She's downstairs, yeah.
Bring her up.
I know there's the last question coming to have when I say that.
No, because look, I'm going to divulge WhatsApp messages again, right? And I know I don't believe it's true because you said, what was it? 2 minutes, same, batting a shit at the minute, and the shit's winning. There was no chance you were going for a shit. You were having a ride, weren't you, Dan?
I actually was taking shit. But that's why I was late. I was going to take a shit, but then I was chatting away to her. But then I delayed the shit before the bottle, so I just timed it all wrong.
So Dan, did she listen to last week's podcast?
No, thank Christ.
Okay.
No.
Has she listened to any of your podcasts? No. Okay.
No, I don't think so.
See, she's a teacher. She's educated.
She's probably outside. They don't know, like.
She probably is, yeah.
And what have you told her you're doing now at this moment that you're locked?
I took off the glasses.
You're locked in the bedroom and you've told her she can't come in. What does she think you're doing?
There's no lock on the door. There's no lock.
And you're living with 2 other lads. Get a lock, Dan. Jesus, get a lock, will you?
Yeah, the first thing I'll be doing is getting the lock.
Anyway.
Anything else you want to know? Jesus.
Well, I do, but I don't want to put you under pressure either. But we'll take it offline, and whatever information you give us, we can always bring back to the pod next week.
Oh, actually, I was talking to Colm Nolan up at Shamrock. I was outside Tana Stadium the other day doing Vox Pops, and I meet Colm Nolan, the Shamrock Rovers fan.
Yeah.
And Wayne, you were a bit of a shagger back in the day, by all accounts, according to old Colm Nolan. Like,
it was the 90s. There's no proof of anything like that. There was no phones around. You know.
He said you had slim shady hair with the you had like red hair. But you had the dyed slim shady bleached blonde
spiked. Yeah, it was like I was trying to copy Savage Garden back in the day, but here
truly madly deeply.
Literally, look at the way he's dressed. That was me in 1998, like with bleached blonde hair.
Well, let's say you never go to college on a Friday.
No,
he had a few stories now, I can't even remember him.
For the City match. Yeah. But it was okay, I was allowed. They knew what I was doing. Like, I was going home to watch the City match.
He said, did he say you're the reason why he kind of half likes Cork City fans? And then I think you actually said the same.
Yeah, that's the reason I kind of am okay with Rovers fans, because majority of them they're actually all right, like a lot of them.
Oh. Well, what Dublin team's your favourite outside the UCD? If you had to pick,
I would say Shamrock Rovers, because I hate the rest of them. I hate Pats. Well, I don't really hate Pats. I hate Bows. I hate Shells. I hate Dundalk. I hate Drogheda. They're dubs, basically. Pats, they're not really a club, are they? They're kind of pointless. You can't hate Pats, like. I would say Pats, so probably, because you can't hate, like, people who mean nothing, like.
They're completely inconsequential, like. They've never done anything to anybody, like. They're just kind of hang around like a bad smell kind of a thing, like, you know.
I'd probably hated Sporting Fingal more than Pats, like.
And that's an insult. That concludes at the end of the first half. TOTAP will come back to us in the second half. We will have the mailbag, the Harps preview, and we'll find out if Gary Hunt is under pressure.
Hey, toe tapper. As you know, everything is increasing in price. Extra small clothes, anger management classes, raw liver is the same price as gold. And kids' sweets used to have 20 per pack and now only have 5 in each one. And Jack Doherty is on course to score 100 goals. And he's going to bleed us dry. We need you to help the gang by joining our Patreon for exclusive pods, news and much more. For $5 a month, you can ensure that Wayne doesn't smash up his laptop, that Dan has really small clothes, Eileen is satisfied, and Declan gets lots and lots of jellies. Head to patreon.com/TOTAP to support the cause.
Welcome back to part 2, TOTAPper. It's now time for the mailbag.
Postman pattern in black and white cat. The cat makes race. Early in the morning, one bag of man is yawning. Him pick up all of the post bag in him hand. A real bad man. Postman pattern, and he mix up cat. Him team light skin. All of the bird them singing, but partner fool him a roll with the big thing. Just in case them try to run him back.
I feel like I'm getting to
sorry,
know
Dan,
Dickie's.
I have to interrupt you here, right? Because I didn't see this until now. This video you sent of that's basically you spraying your toilet, right? Obviously, after going for a shit.
It sounds like I'm by the side of a road.
There's a huge stain on the toilet mat. It's brown, like.
I
you
actually
go
wipe
out and
my
buy
arse.
a new one of them for her. She's, you know, if your missus is staying there.
I wipe my arse with that, actually, if there's no bog rolling that I get.
Man, you need to clean it up, like. Please. I want to see a new one next week, all right? Thanks.
Boris Keane Coleman says, I feel like I'm getting to know Dickie so well I could make little Dickie-shaped dildos as stocking fillers.
What the fuck? What? Hang on, no. Like, I'm not man for drawing lines, like, but there's a time to draw a line, like, and Dickie-shaped dildos are probably where I'm going to draw the line, to be honest with you, you know?
Que sera. If you had to pick a top 3 of the most handsome men to ever play for City, who would you choose?
Who would I choose in the top 3 most handsome men ever to play for Cork City? How the hell would I know? I never... Okay, look, there's an obvious one anyway. Bobby Woodruff.
Woodruff, yeah, he was a handsome bastard, wasn't he?
He was a handsome man.
I feel like he was more handsome now than he was back then.
Absolutely, I would say, yeah.
Probably, yeah, to be fair.
You gotta have Derek Collin in there, like.
Danny Murphy. All the women, I'm only going on what the women used to say. All the women thought Danny was an absolute handsome bastard.
Actually, him and Dan Murray, they used to be odd after, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sure, Keating gets a nod, does he?
Oh, absolutely. Handsome bastard.
Is this like, I've said this many times over the years in the pod, but is this what we've become? It is.
I just can't wait for the women's version of this, like on Last Thomas. Awkward.
Could you imagine?
HR be coming out.
Get out the stamper with cancelled on it anyway. Cancelled.
Will someone ask that to Last Thomas next week, please? Thanks.
Right. Duncan Noonan says, is there not a sense of karma after Dundalk fans mocking us about having a load of clubs? Like, there's only much sympathy I can have for those fans in particular.
But sure, they're saved. For people who don't know, we're recording on Tuesday night instead of the usual Monday night. So news did come a few hours ago that they'll see out the season anyway. Like, it's going to be reported that they're saved. But from what I read in the statement was that this group are underpinning the wages for the rest of the season, underpinning costs, and then we'll look into where, the viability of the club going forward. So they haven't fully committed to taking over the club or taking it forward beyond this year. But yeah, look, they're after getting away with murder. So, hopefully they'll be relegated though. That's the most important thing.
Pat Connolly says, before anyone starts getting teary-eyed, don't ever forget that banner being shoved in our faces when we were in trouble, and it's they see things we never see. Wayne, what do you think about the Dundalk situation?
I don't care. I don't like them. Whether they stay or go, I won't lose any sleep over. There's a few people there that are really good fellas at Dundalk. A lot of scroats too. So stay or go, I'm not even bothered either way, to be honest with you.
Richie asks, Decky, do you and Tim split the bill or take turns?
Do I have to say it again on the record? I have never spoken to nor met Tim Clancy in my life. On the record.
Billy Crowley says, which level of TOTAP Patreon does Barry Coffey have? Liam Boston or John O'Flynn?
The GDPR.
Yeah. Can't give away any personal details, personal data like that.
Sean asks, how's Dan's date in Glendalough on Sunday? It's great.
Glendalough, lovely. The Garden County.
You were in Glendalough on Sunday?
I was.
No, were you seen there? Or did you put stuff on Instagram that people have seen?
I had an Instagram story of just like a baby deer and Glendalough location. It's gone now, Wayne, before you start looking.
Okay. I'm just saying, so yeah, okay. So this person knew from your social media that you were in Glendalough. They didn't actually physically see you in Glendalough and out you now in the pod.
No.
Right, okay.
No, I don't think they did.
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious, all right. Although we did bump into our principal from the school. Garrett loves coffee, Barry. Is it possible?
Is it coffee?
Wayne, this is the giddiest humour I've ever seen.
I'm in such good form with like Barry Coffey, I'm telling you. My hero.
Is it possible to have a minute laughter for poor Dundalk? I hate them, but we can't have clubs disappear. Where's all the European money they got? If this was a bank, the guards would be involved for money squandering. Ian Crowley says, where do you stand on the FAI getting involved with funding specific teams in the league? Wayne, go to you here first.
They didn't do it for Monaghan years ago, so they can't do it now. By all times it changed.
They will now.
Dundalk were even on Sky Sports News during the week, But I don't know. Like, is it ever going to stop? Like, it was us 4 years ago again. Like I don't know why. Are we overspending on wages? Like, are we doing it now with McGuire? And are we going to be in the same situation in 4 years because we're pissing money away on two strikers? Like, you got to be careful. Like. And I just don't know why clubs are overspending. I just don't get it. Like, just don't do it anymore. Yeah, we won't get far in Europe, but at least you don't go through this shit every time. And what we went through 15 years ago, we can't be City gone, we're back in the league again next season. That doesn't happen anymore. There's no fallback anymore. So, got to be careful, people.
Dickie, you have any thoughts on it?
I'm not sure the league have funded them in any way. They did release some prize money. I don't know where the prize money comes from early. They refused to release the solidarity payments from UEFA that would be due at the end of the season. Obviously, the clown in the government, what's his name? The Armanda Minister for Sport, who won't give soccer a penny, won't give the FAI a penny, but he's a TD down that way, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, there's no problem with that $500,000 for doing up the floodlights and the pitch. Now the thing about that is, obviously that's ring fenced for that particular job, and they can't use that to pay down debt or pay wages or anything else. But it does say to investors or anybody who might be willing to buy the club, yes, this money is definitely there to do the work that has to be done at a pitch. So obviously it helps, and it's a big one. But I think he's TD for that part of the country anyway. So he's always going to chase the votes. But look, we got no help. You got to remember that. We got no help. And Niall Quinn at the time was chairman or CEO or Macchia CEO or interim, whatever he was, and, he rang and basically said, tough shit, lads, you're on your own, sort it out. We don't care whether there's a club there next year or not. Declan Kerry will tell you about that conversation. He's referenced it on the pods he's done with us. So, does it grate a little bit? No, because as I said, I didn't want the club to go. I don't think it's a good look for the league. I think they desperately need to spend some time in the first division, that fan base, and learn some humility. But does it bother me that the FAI might have contributed to them? No, not particularly. But they didn't contribute to us. They didn't contribute to Monaghan, as Scotty has said. So why should it be any different this time? But it is. They also left Ainscough in there. This is the thing that people are still not talking about. And there's been no fit and proper persons test done on this new group. This crowd could be worse than Ainscough in 12 months' time. Nobody knows. Because everything is just pushed down the road. And this is the thing with it's just push it down the road. Oh, new Dundalk takeover. Dundalk fans are, hey, we're saved. It's brilliant, yay. Nobody's thinking about what might happen in 12 months' time or how secure these people coming in are. And it's just there's going to be other clubs finding themselves in trouble for the same particular reasons. That the FAI don't care. They only care about solving the issue that's in front of them now. And there's no long-term thinking there. And there's no long-term thinking gone into this Dundalk solution. It's okay, let's get them to the end of the season and we'll pretend everything is fine. And then we'll hope in the off-season that the crowd who have come in now to save them, well, that they will take them on. And then sure, that's fine. That's all. Everything's solved then. There's no problem. Nothing to worry about. And we'll go back to the way everything was until the next disaster happens or the next issue pops up. There's nobody thinking long-term. Pat Bonner is one of the top men in the FAI. What qualifications has he got beyond saving a penalty in Genoa in 1990? Nothing. But yet, there he is, and he's look, I'm not even getting into it again. It's just, there's just no long-term thinking, and until we get into a situation where the government and the FAI and the football authorities and people with intelligence are looking at 5 years and 10 years and 20 years down the road and developing the game for 5 years and 10 years and 20 years down the road and not firefighting for the next 6 months or 12 months at the max, we're pissing in the wind. And it's being shown by the performances of the international team. That's where it's all coming home to roost. So look, FAI are responsible for football in this country. They haven't a notion what they're at or what they're doing. But sure, look, if nobody else cares, why should we care? So I'm just sick of it. I'm sick shit of the whole thing. Just take league football in this country away from the FAI. Set up an independent league, do whatever you want to do. Just get it out from the auspices of the FAI before they destroy the game forever in this country, because that's the way they're going. It's the most incompetent organisation on the planet. You can't spell fucking failure without FAI. Don't ever forget that.
All right. Connor K says, at what point in the season can we start calling out useless players without getting blocked? I have a list of 4 or 5 or 6 who I'm genuinely shocked are employed at a professional football club. Can I say that? Dickie, while the blood is blood pressure is high, we'll go to you again.
man can say whatever he wants to say. He's quite entitled to. I noticed he didn't name any names yet. He's only inquiring as to when he might be able to name names, I guess. I don't think this is a positive pod this week, so we won't say this week anyway. But I mean, yeah, the time is coming. It's coming near, all right. There's no getting away from it. But do you know, there's a certain midfielder who scored a massive goal on Friday night who may have moved from one list to another list all of a sudden. I don't know, say 9:20 on Friday night or so. He just found his way from one list to another list, you know. God knows who it could be.
Ian Crowley says, what would you reinvent Dundalk FC as? Like Limerick FC, Treaty United.
Treaty United are not Limerick. The treaty didn't come from the Ashes. Limerick FC still exists. They still put out teams in the Underage League of Ireland. So Treaty wasn't a Phoenix club. Treaty was a newly found club. And lots of people kind of make that mistake. But if you look, that Limerick FC club, to whatever you want to call it, is still in existence, still under Pat O'Sullivan's reign. And they put out teams in, I think they have 2 underage teams, Scotty. You probably don't know, but I think they have a team in the under 17 boys and the under 15 boys, if I'm right. So that club still exists. There's no need to rebrand or bring Dundalk back in any way, shape or form now at the moment. But, I mean, I don't know. What would I rebrand them as? I don't know. Just see Dunnock stuff last night on Twitter, the conversation I was involved in. Oh, lad. Yeah. It's one of the funniest exchanges I've ever seen.
That person has since been blocked off Twitter. Do you know that?
Yeah, I saw that. If you're looking for a laugh, just find Dunnock's Twitter and go back on his replies and see the conversation he had with a Dundalk fan last night, which was particularly funny, especially when she... Oh, look, the particular part. Yeah, we won't even get into it, but Dunnock's was jabbing her away.
I'm trying to have a look now, like.
She told him she'd kick it.
It's Megs. I'll bitch your head in, you C-word. Oh, Christ. Look, they'd be doing the same to us.
They did the same to us.
There was a very funny one though, because this lady seemingly is a very religious person, and she's also a big fan of Ireland for the Irish and the rest of it. But she said something to him, and he said to her, "Mags, you know, baby Jesus won't like that, or Jesus won't like that, or something." She said, "At least he'll forgive me when I kick your CUNT in." I thought it was one of the best replies I ever saw.
That was under the original I'll bet your head in.
Man. It was just brilliant.
Aaron Hill says, has anyone got a spare 50 cent for Dundalk? And Mike McCarthy says, no question, just F Dundalk. Karma is a bitch.
The thing is, right, you see people online going, oh, how can you be a fan of the League of Ireland if you want Dundalk to fail? What other club in the world wants their teams to survive, or rivals? Like, I know we're all in it together kind of shit, but we're not. Who wants a League of Ireland team doing well in Europe? I don't. If a club goes to the wall, it's not my problem, it's their problem. We went through our shit and no one gave a shit about us. So don't be going on social media saying, oh, you're not a League of Ireland fan. No, I'm not a League of Ireland fan. I'm a Cork City fan. I don't support other clubs in the League of Ireland. Bar Bray, maybe, a little bit. Just a little tiny bit on the side. Hey. But I'm a Cork City fan, so I couldn't give a shit what happens to the rest of you.
I forgot to do the one word of Kerry. We're done the mailbag. I forgot to do the one word of Kerry, all right? So do you want to pick it up? Will we drop it in now or just leave it as it is?
Just leave it. Who gives a shit?
Ian Crowley says... Ian Crowley says, nice. Scott CCFC says, cold. Jamie says, Penenka. Sean says, Barry Coffey, friend of the pod. Philly Crowley says, Penenka. Barry loves coffee. Barry says, it's gravy, baby. Jack Keller says, impressing. Probably Fergus says, charity. Topper says, pancakes. Beer-bellied Hoover says, Usher, rappers, Howie, Aina, shoved it up your holes. You boys took a hell of a beating tonight. Well, some of you, the good guys are okay. Roy O'Sullivan says, Marymount. Anthony O'Sullivan says Panenka. Luke O'Mahony says Panenka. Sean says Panenka. Anthony Falvey says Kofefe. Connor says Chips. Fiona C says Panenka. Thomas says Barry-nenka. The Donny Ford Ultra Mega Sergeant Platoon says Panenka. Henry Heffernan says shithole. Ben says Panenka. So any favourite from our supposed one-word answers from Kerry?
Panenka, that was the right answer. Like, and we have a conundrum now. Do we call this podcast Panenka or Decky-shaped dildos? And I'm really confused what to call this.
I actually think it should be called My Hero. After what you said about Barry Coffey a while ago, you called him My Hero. So I think it should be My Hero.
How Barry Coffey-shaped dildos?
Unless he's giving it to Kerry up the arse, I don't think it's really applicable, is it?
He did, didn't he?
Hey.
That was the joke.
Your MVPs.
Yeah.
Well, you said, look, work on your community time a bit better, will you? The MVPs for the night were do we have Barry Panenka Coffey, Barry Panenka Coffey, Barry Panenka Coffey. So in first was Barry Panenka Coffey. In second win was
Barry Panenka Coffey.
Third, Decky was take a guess.
I'd say Barry Panenka Coffey. The fourth.
And fourth was Barry Panenka Coffee. That rounds up.
We kind of did break our rule of taking the piss out of the MVP, but there was no one stopping me putting that up. Like I was just, as I said, I'm a very happy guy this week, lads.
We didn't even try. That's the amazing thing. Like, you know, it's just like, no.
I kind of forgot about it, to be honest.
Nobody's stepping in. So yeah, it was good crack. It was what it was.
Who are we playing next week, lads? I didn't even go.
Harps.
Finn Harps on Friday night.
It will beat them.
Cross.
Yeah. What happens now if someone else is a Panenka?
Tough shit, like.
There'll be Panenkas all over the place. We want to have a penny that, like. Yeah, I guess
we go for 150 for another Panenka.
Yeah.
Actually, Dan, you have to do your Panenka thing. You have to do the Panenka thing.
Oh yeah. What music was that again? That was Jacking Off.
Jacking Off. Let's go again. Jacking Off. Here we go.
Hang on 2 seconds. What you want jacking off for?
Take it down there, Declan.
I'm trying to find it. There's a whole bank of I do.
I've been jacking off, beating my meat. You left me and I'm in heat. What else can I do? 'Cause my wet dreams are just getting chilled.
Did anyone score a Panenka this week for €300 for the much I'll have to go for it again. Did anyone score a Panenka this week for €300 for the much needed facilities in Marymount Hospice? Yes, they did.
Yeah. I've been jacking off, beating my meat. You left me and I'm in heat. What else can I do? 'Cause my wet dreams are just getting chilled.
All right. You know, I'm making an executive decision. We're going for 150 quid for Marymount again.
For the next goal.
The next Panenka.
I don't think it's happening.
Here, you might have them all over, Gaff. We could be like.
Here's the thing, though. Are you not taking? So no, hang on. Can I just make a point here now? Are you not taking away from the prestige that Barry now has by offering, another one? I mean,
let's do another one, so Decky. Right? Let's go back to season 1. Do you remember?
I can't remember. Yesterday, never mind season 1.
We said a specific celebration.
Yes.
If a player scores for City this season, they have to go near the camera, right? And do a golf putt. That'll be 150 quid to Marymount.
Okay, yeah, I'm all for that.
Oh, I'd love to see Shawnee or Keith do it anyway, because then they definitely couldn't get rid of him. Like, anyway, City versus Harps this Friday. Decky, there's 3 points in the bag here again, is it?
Sure, look, I mean, yeah, like it's hard to preview these. No, I'm not going to lie, like, I mean, you presume it's going to be some semblance of the team that played and started last Friday night. That'll be young again. Excuse me. As I said, I personally hope to see Shawnee and Keats maybe for an hour, just working their partnership. It's a massive trip down for Harps. Like, they have something to play for because they're right in the edge of that last playoff spot. Like, and with Bray having lost to Longford last weekend, it does give them a little bit of a shout, but they kind of really do need to win their games that they have left, or the majority of them anyway. So they probably do have something to play for, to be fair. You'd like to think our first game back in Turner's Cross, having secured the league title, would have a bit of buzz about it, a bit of bang about it. Obviously, you have the international night. It would be good to put on a performance, especially if there's a lot of, members of the Polish community, African community, I don't know, maybe even the Chinese community. It would be good to put on a performance that would maybe encourage those people to come back. So I think there's something there for us to play for, all right. Like,
why are they maybe even?
Why not? Why are they maybe?
I'm lost now. I have no idea
what did you say? What did you say again?
It's like the Polish community, the African community, maybe even the
Chinese community. Why is it maybe? Why not? Like, yeah.
I don't know. I just say things that come into my head and come out. Like, there's no meaning behind it. Like, it's just. Well, I haven't seen any advertising in Chinese for a start. I'm not sure the Chinese community are the biggest. But why am I continuing to do this? Like, because I just get myself in trouble for nothing. Like, I don't even know what you're on about. Like, or what you're laughing at. To be honest,
I had to spit out my Coke there. I had a big mouthful of Coke here. I just spit it out.
I have no idea what the issue is here, or what the problem is. Look, I hope to see a large contingent of members of the Chinese community in Turner's Cross on Friday night.
Right, father dead. Not a racist. Flash it up.
I've no idea what's happening here, like.
The Chinese, a great bunch of lads.
I've no idea what's happening here. Scotty's going to self-combust. He's laughing so hard, like I genuinely don't know what's going on, like.
What are we talking about? Oh yes, City Harps. All right, are we going with the youngsters again? Are we sticking
we're
in?
Not. You cannot play a home game without Katie Maguire playing. It's bad marketing. When we go away, play them, or don't play them, play the youngsters. We're at home, you have to play the best team. We're building for next season.
Smart.
Dan's wiping tears from his eyes, like, what is going on here?
It's just the way you said it.
You just don't think you realise how funny it was. But it's just like the skips are lovely thing. Sometimes you say something and it's just funny.
Yeah.
Unintentionally so. That's all I can say. But look, lads, we're here to entertain. So if I entertain unintentionally, that's even better again.
That'll probably have to come out, like.
No, for what? There's not like. How could it possibly come out, like?
I don't know.
I think it's fine anyway. I mean, nothing said.
There's nothing in it. Yeah, there's nothing in it. Like, I mean,
why is your voice going like
I have no idea what's happening here. I have no idea what I supposedly said that would have to come out of the podcast. All I said is I might possibly see members of the Chinese community in Turner's Cross on Friday. I don't get why that's so funny. Like,
why are you going back to it again? I have no idea what you keep saying. You just shut the fuck up, yeah. Seriously. Oh Christ!
I'm laughing out. I have no idea. I'm just laughing at you laughing. I have no idea what's going on. Anyway.
Oh Christ! Whew.
What's wrong with him, like?
Right now this has gone funny at Wayne.
Oh. Okay, I'm sweating.
Decky, do you subscribe to the idea that we should use Maguire and Keaton as a marketing tool?
Absolutely, yeah, of course. I mean, it's very easy for crowds to slip away until the Wexford game, which is the last game of the season when we'll receive the trophy, you know. So, yeah, I think if you can get Maguire and Keaton playing an hour and scoring a few goals, then it definitely keeps people wanting to come and see them, like, you know. Like, Sean Maguire is a massive, massive draw. Like, he's a massive, massive draw. So I would play him as much as possible.
Who do you think is for first division is going to be in the playoff?
UCD. What is wrong with him?
Oh my God. He's muted himself now.
Yeah, he's just doubled over. What is so funny about UCD? Like, are saying UCD?
This is the happiest I've ever seen the men.
Oh Christ! Everyone needs a Barry Coffey in their life, I think. You know. Oh. Sorry, lads. Keep going.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
I'm fine.
He's crying. Like, what?
He's muted. He is missing himself, but I think he's muted him. Yeah, he is. Oh.
I don't know. I have no idea what's going on anyway.
Here, look. Just give us a match prediction there, Decky.
Cork City 4, Finn Harps 0.
I'm going to say City 3, Harps 1.
I think we're going to win 3-1. Maguire 2. Sorry.
This is going on 10 minutes. And I genuinely have no idea how it all started. Like, none. Like,
oh. I mean, the whole Penenka thing, it's worth the 300 quid at this stage anyway, just for the salon.
It's man, this is the best hours of entertainment I've had in years, to be honest with you. Hopefully somebody does a golf putt on Friday night and we can just have more of Wayne entertaining us next Friday, next Monday night, or Tuesday night. Next Monday night it would be.
Well, forget the harp stuff. We're going to go to the one...
Gary Hunt?
Everyone wants to know, yeah. We're going to find out if Gary Hunt is under pressure. Oh, they didn't have a game last week.
Oh, Jesus.
It was Wexford 2, Ramblers 1. Finn Harps 2, Ramblers 0. City 1, Ramblers 0. Is Gary Hunt under pressure? Yes, he is. Hey. Yes, he is.
Oh, that's... I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
That's it now, lads.
That's it now for
Check
another
your
week.
choices for the pod name anyway, that's for sure.
I mean, it has to be something to do with that segment anyway, but like, it has to be something that's not going to get everyone into trouble.
I think we just call it Hero and have a picture of like Barry Coffey being
General
Enrique Iglesias, maybe.
And that concludes this week's episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast. There's only one thing left to say, and that is adios.
Adios.
Would you dance if I asked you to dance? Would you run and never look back? Would you cry if you saw me crying? And would you save my soul tonight? Would you tremble if I touched your lips? Or would you laugh? Oh, please tell me this. Now would you die for the one you love? Hold me in your arms tonight. I can be your hero, baby. I can kiss away the pain. I will stand by you forever. You can take my breath.
The next episode will be available very soon.